I'm going to tell you something that might completely change how you see women. When a woman pushes you away, sometimes that's exactly when she wants you the most. I know, it sounds backwards, because you've been taught that attraction means closeness, consistency, clear signals. But real human emotions, they don't work like that. And if you don't understand this, you'll misread the situation, react the wrong way, and lose her right when she was starting to feel something real. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is the difference between confusion and control. Before we dive deeper, a quick message. If you've been learning from my videos and you want to support this work, you can subscribe to me on Facebook with a paid membership, send stars, or join my YouTube channel's paid community. Your support helps me create more powerful content for you, and I truly appreciate every bit of it. All right, now let's continue. Let's start with the first reason, and it's deeper than you think. She's not pushing you away because she doesn't feel anything. She's pushing you away because she feels too much. When emotions start getting real, when attachment begins to form, it creates vulnerability, and vulnerability feels dangerous, especially to someone who's been hurt before. So instead of leaning in, she pulls back, not because she wants distance, but because she's afraid of losing control. Now, here's where most men make their first mistake. They feel that distance and they panic. They text more, they try harder, they chase, and in their mind, they're fixing the situation. But in reality, they're confirming her fear, because now she doesn't feel safe. She feels pressure, and pressure kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Let me give you a small insight most people never talk about. Attraction grows in space, not in pressure. And when she creates distance, she's unconsciously asking, asterisk, will he stay the same or will he lose himself trying to keep me? And your reaction becomes your answer. Now let's go deeper, because the second reason she pushes you away is control, not in a manipulative way, but in an emotional survival way. When she starts liking you more than expected, she feels like she's losing power, and human nature hates imbalance. So what does she do? She creates distance to regain control of her emotions, to slow things down, to make sure she's not the one falling harder. But here's the twist. That distance, it's also a test, not a conscious one, but a real one. She wants to see, do you crumble? Or do you stay grounded? Do you chase her approval? Or do you maintain your own value? Because attraction isn't just about how much you like her. It's about how you behave when things aren't perfect. Now listen carefully, because this part is subtle but powerful. Sometimes she pushes you away because she's trying to understand her own feelings. You have to realize, not every woman immediately understands what she feels. Sometimes attraction builds quietly, then suddenly becomes intense, and that intensity can be overwhelming. So she steps back, not to lose you, but to process you. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because the more she thinks about you during that distance, the more emotional weight you gain. Absence doesn't always weaken attraction. Sometimes it amplifies it. Now, let me tell you something most men don't want to hear. If she pulls away and you immediately replace her attention with desperation, you lose. But if she pulls away and you remain calm, focused, and unaffected, you become intriguing, because now she can't read you. And what the mind can't read, it tries to understand. Let's talk about another reason, and this one comes from past experiences. If she's ever been hurt, lied to, or abandoned, her brain is wired to protect her. So when something starts feeling good, her instinct says, asterisk. And that instinct doesn't create closeness, it creates distance. But here's the contradiction. She wants connection. She wants to feel something real. But at the same time, she's afraid of what comes with it. So she sends mixed signals. not to confuse you, but because she's confused herself. Now, I want you to think about this. Have you ever wanted something so much that it actually made you nervous? That's exactly what's happening here, because when someone matters, the risk becomes real. Now, here's the part that separates high-value men from everyone else. They don't react emotionally to temporary distance. They observe. They stay centered. They understand that attraction isn't linear. It moves up, down, closer, further. And if you panic at every shift, you become unstable, and instability destroys attraction. Let me give you a powerful truth. When she pulls away, she's watching, not your words, your behavior. Are you still confident? Are you still living your life? Are you still emotionally independent? Or did your world suddenly start revolving around her? Because the moment she feels like she's your center, you stop being a challenge. And without challenge, attraction fades. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Sometimes she pushes you away to see if you'll let her go. Not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to know. If I step back, will he respect it? Or will he try to control me? And control is the fastest way to lose someone. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake, the one that ruins everything. Trying to figure her out through constant questioning. Asterisk, what happened? Asterisk, why are you acting like this? Asterisk, did I do something wrong? And suddenly, what was once attraction turns into pressure, interrogation, neediness. And the moment that happens, she doesn't just pull away, she disconnects. So what should you actually do when she creates distance? You match it, not emotionally, but calmly. You don't punish, you don't chase, you don't overthink. You continue being the same person she was attracted to, stable, grounded, unshaken. Because here's the truth, if her feelings are real, distance won't erase them. It will clarify them. And if they're not, no amount of chasing would have saved it anyway. Now let's go even deeper, because there's something nobody is talking about. What this moment actually reveals about you, not her, you. Because when she pulls back, your instinct will tell you to act, to do something, to say something, to fix the discomfort. And that instinct is the test, not her behavior, your response to it. Because the man who can sit in uncertainty without crumbling, without grasping, without making her emotional distance about his worth, that man is rare, and rare things hold value. Let's talk about what's really happening underneath all of this, because when a woman creates distance, she's not just testing you, she's regulating herself. Think about it. Emotions don't arrive on schedule. They don't follow timelines or expectations. Sometimes she wakes up one morning and realizes she's more invested than she planned to be, and that realization alone scares her, because investment means exposure, and exposure means the possibility of pain. So she pulls the emergency brake, not to hurt you, not to play games, but to catch her breath, to slow the fall, to make sure she's not running towards someone who's going to disappear. And if you understand that, everything changes. Because now her distance isn't rejection, it's self-preservation. And the right response to self-preservation is patience, not pressure. Here's something else that gets overlooked: the role your energy plays in all of this. When you're calm, she can feel it. When you're grounded, she can feel it. When you're not desperate, that communicates something without a single word being spoken. It says, asterisk, I am okay with or without your attention, asterisk. And that is magnetic, because most men she meets, their mood shifts with her mood. When she's warm, they rise. When she's cold, they collapse. And after a while, she doesn't feel like she's with a partner. She feels like she's managing someone. And women don't stay with men they have to manage. They stay with men who are already whole. men who don't require their constant emotional reassurance to function. Be that man. Now, let me address something important, because I don't want you to misunderstand what staying grounded means. It doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean ignoring her. It doesn't mean pretending you don't care, because that's just a different version of the same insecurity. Performed indifference is still insecurity wearing a mask. What staying grounded actually means is continuing to be yourself, pursuing what you care about, living with intention, showing up with warmth without showing up with need. There's a difference. Warmth says, I enjoy your presence. Need says, I require your presence. One is attractive, the other is suffocating, and she can tell the difference every time. Let's talk about what happens on her end during this distance. Because while you're staying grounded, she's not standing still. She's thinking, replaying conversations, noticing your absence, comparing how she feels without your energy to how she felt with it. And here's the thing about space. It creates perspective. When you're too close to something, you can't see it clearly. But when there's distance, clarity arrives. And that clarity often works in your favor, because the moments she shared with you, the way you made her feel, the version of herself she was around you, all of that becomes visible, not in the noise of constant contact, but in the quiet of your absence. Now, here's a behavior she shows during this phase that almost nobody notices. She tests your consistency. She might go cold, then send a single message, casual, low effort, almost nothing. And she's watching how you respond. Do you light up immediately? Do you respond with 20 messages after days of silence? Do you ask where she's been? Or do you respond the same way you always would? Measured, relaxed, unbothered. Because consistency under pressure is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. Anyone can be charming when things are going well, but the man who stays the same when she's warm and when she's cold, that man builds real trust, and trust is the foundation everything else is built on. There's one more thing I want you to understand, something that ties all of this together. When she pushes you away and you stay calm and you don't chase and you don't collapse, you're not just passing a test, you're building something, a reputation inside her mind, an emotional association. He's different. He doesn't need me to be okay. He's actually living his life. And that association becomes the reason she comes back. Not because you manipulated her, not because you played games, but because you showed her something real. A man who is secure enough in himself to give her the space she needs without punishing her for needing it. That's maturity. And maturity is deeply, quietly, powerfully attractive. Now here's the final insight, the one most people never understand. When a woman pushes you away when she wants you most, she's not testing your love. She's revealing your strength, your ability to stay composed when things aren't certain, your ability to hold your frame when emotions shift. And that is what creates lasting attraction. So the next time she pulls away, don't panic, don't chase, don't try to fix what isn't broken. Just watch. Stay present in your own life. Stay grounded in your own purpose. Stay rooted in who you are. Because the version of you that doesn't need her to feel whole is the version of you she most wants to be close to. And here's the real question to carry with you. Not asterisk, why is she pulling away? But who am I when she does? Because that answer determines everything. If this made you see things differently, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to understand attraction, psychology, and human behavior on a deeper level, check out the other videos on this channel. Because once you understand the game, you stop chasing and start becoming someone people don't want to lose.